Good morning. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on the biodiversity. Myself, Dr. Pintu Kumar, Assistant Professor, PG Department of Geography, Magadha University, Bodhgaya. Once again, I welcome to all of you, my dear students. Today, I am going to talk about biodiversity. Let me know that what do you mean by biodiversity? Biodiversity, it is a different types of the variation of the species, plants, animals that we call it biodiversity. Biodiversity, it has a lot of varieties. We have a lot of variation of the different types of species, genetics, changes of the different types of species, animals and plants, all these things. So all these are the part of organism. All we just see that different types of the organism that have their own characteristic to be just survive in this environment. They should have to be just good conducive environment. They have to be just good and forest and very good environment where they can just enjoy very healthy life. But present scenario today, we are facing a lot of problems because of the drastically changing of the climate change and global warming. As we know that today's the climate change is mainly influenced by because of the different types of the anthropogenic activities and producing of more greenhouse gases. So that's why this topic is very important to talk about the relevance of the biodiversity. As we know that we have already discussed about the nature and types and its conservations of the biodiversity. The term biodiversity has been firstly elaborated by and explained by the great professor and scientist E. Wilson. Edward E. Wilson is known as the father of biodiversity. He is also known as the father of sociology because of the great contributions of this for the field of biodiversity, because of the detailed study, and he has firstly advocated about the different types of the existence of the plants, species and all these things. So the scholars from the different types of the world has tried to be attracted his mind on this perspective for the biodiversity. Now this way, this term the biodiversity is advocated by different types. But firstly, the biological diversity has been given by the greatest scholars, that is known as Lovejoy. In 1980, the term coined by the biological diversity, and thereafter jointly of this biological diversity, the biodiversity that is being also given this term was coined by Walter G. Rosen in 1985. After that, it had to be needed some of the protection of the endangered species that is in the very healthy and forest area. So thereafter, it has been called a new word that is being coined by Norman Bayer, that is known as biodiversity hotspot. So different types of work that is main intention to study and highlight the sensitive themes of the biodiversity and different types of the species. So thereafter, this biological and biodiversity movement to conserve the movement, to preserve the movement, to understand the whole scenarios and their variation of the different types of the animals, plants. So this journey has been started before several years ago. In the first time, in 1927, the Forest Protection Act has been came into existence to protect the different types of plants among all the surrounding area. Thereafter, in 1972, the Wildlife Protection Act being enacted because of the protection of different types of animals and all the creatures that is in the living around us and surrounding area or in the forest area. So this way that, but after that it has to be also enacted a new in 1986 that we call it Environmental Protection Act. This was the first of the attempt that has given a good ideas about the protection of the different types of environment and associated all the element that is a part of the environment. Thereafter, many Water Protection Act and many of the Green Tribunal Act, Ganga Action Plans, preservation of an hydrological system, all these are the part of that. But the journey of biological diversity has been attracted the whole over the mind of the different scholars from across the globe in the Earth Summit 1992. That is called as the Rio Summit. In that summit, it has to be advocated that we need to be preserved the different types of the species that is going to be in danger, and it will change, it will disbalance the whole ecological system. So thereafter, it has to be just taken a very serious, even serious actions on the biodiversity preservation and its act. So thereafter, the Nagoya Protocols and Katojoa Protocol is one of the good initiatives for the, in the way of the milestone achievement for the Treaty of the Preservation of Biodiversity Act. Thereafter, in 2002, it has been just made a Biological Diversity Act to protect all these are the part of the biodiversities and its species. After this detailed background, I am going to talk about the case of the Indian biodiversities. As we know that India is one of the very good geographical locations because of the oceanic mountains, hills, all this. India has a lot of characteristics and differentiation and diversities of its physiographic structures. As we know that here, the most driest area, most hottest area, wettest area, coldest area, all these are the area which is characterized by the different types of the landforms, either in the forms of plains area, plateaus area, hilly area, desert area, coastal area. Because of the different types of the variation of the landform, it has a lot of opportunities to grow the different types of the plants and animals around this surrounding area. So that's why here a lot of organism is going to be of that. But recently we are watching that a lot of, because of the global warming, a lot of problem is being faced. It is being deteriorated along because of the deforestation and many of the climatic and other issues. So it has destroyed the whole ecosystem. So today we are going to talk about there are 5 biosphere reserve of India, because India is a land which only the 2% geographical area protect the 8% of the biodiversity, conserve the 8% of the biodiversity of the world. So this is one of the very important aspects target to know that. So then let me start our discussion about the biosphere reserves in India. India has mainly characterized the 15 important sites that is being called as the Biosphere Reserve India. That is Nanda Devi, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Assam, and Arunachal Pradesh, Dihan Diwan, Dhivru, Saikova, Manas in Assam, Naukrik, that is imported in Meghalaya, Sundarban, that is also very famous for the Sundari and Delta, West Bengal, Simlipan in Odisha, Amarkantak in Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Sessachelam, Nilgiri, Tamil Nadu, Orissa Malay in Kerala, and Gulf of Mannar. You can just go through this whole picture. You can understand that it's being highlighted through the different types of the colors. So these are the part of biosphere reserve. Now, second thing I am going to talk about the biodiversity hotspot. Why the biodiversity hotspot? As for the Norman Ware has advocated that the biodiversity hotspot is one of the important centers where the richness of the biodiversity plants and species. But it is very, some of the endangered species is going to be destroyed and it is going to be disappear from this area because of the not proper caring and protection. So this area is being characterized biodiversity hotspot to preserve those, to conserve and to protect those endangered species. As for know that the total 25 area has been protected, has been declared as a biodiversity hotspot in the world. Among those 25, 24 are located in the India, that is the Himalaya, Indo-Burma regions, Sundaland, that is the part of Sundarban on island, in Andaman Nicobar Islands, and fourth is
Western Ghat.
As we know that the India has only 23% of the forest coverage. For the ecological balance, it is very need of the 33% of the forest cover. before the starting of this era, where the India, when the human has not come on the earth, it was only the rate of one species of the disappearing from the earth every year. But today it is a very drastic figures. Every 20 minutes one species is being disappeared from this earth surface. Every 1 minute 10 plants is being destroyed. That is one of the big changes of the changing the land use pattern of the forest area and forest cover area. What do we mean? It is just destroying our natural habitat of the different types of the species, plants and different types of the creatures. So that is one of the important study to go through this types of detail. That is one of the important study. How do we just preserve this, biodiversity among all of us? Last class we have talked about different types of preservation, ex situ, in situ preservation, and types of biodiversity. That is genetic biodiversity, species biodiversity, and ecosystem, ecologically and ecosystem biodiversity. So thanks you very much for this class. Now we shall talk to you later. Thank you.